Everybody needs to be done.
All right, did not participate was Crowder, ankle, Laval, calf, Peterson, shoulder, Dunbar, shin, Brown, illness. Limited were Richardson, knee, shoulder, Sheriff, knee, Kerrigan, chest, Thompson, rib, knee, Moses, elbow, and Fabian Moreau, ankle. Everybody else is full.
Anything new on Laval, or is that just residual?
Residual. Kept them out, just took a day off of them.
You'd said yesterday, I think Dunbar was getting the nerve situation checked out. Is there any update there?
Not really, no. It's something that's going to take a little bit of time. He's going to try to run tomorrow, see where his leg feels, and see if he can hold up or not, and we'll make a decision hopefully by Friday.
Did they say that it is a nerve issue?
It's a nerve issue, yeah. He got hit on the shin area, the lower leg, and we think it might have done something to the nerve or something. Try to figure it out. He's in some pain when he runs. It gives out on him a little bit, so we're going to try to strengthen it, and hopefully he can do a little bit of running tomorrow, and we'll see where he's at.
Alex talked about just the number of plays that are out there for you guys that you were this close to converting, or whatever it might be, that there are points on the board. What's the challenge in kind of being right there and then getting to that level of executing and completing them?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to get to. You know, the big thing is we got to make the plays that are there. You know, we've made some really good plays in tight windows and all that stuff. Not taking away anything from that regard, but some of the plays we've missed, we, are beating ourselves up over a little bit. So move on, learn from them, and then try to attack the Giants appropriately. But stick with the plan. Guys are doing good overall. Got some wins, but I know we can do a lot better offensively.
How are some of the guys on IR and PUP doing? Just like where's McGee at and Trey Quinn and
yeah, Trey's doing better. He's jogging right now. I think hopefully by next week there's a chance he could maybe start practicing, but I don't know. We'll wait and see. Byron Marshall's doing a lot better. Rob Kelly's doing pretty good. We get two guys to pluck off that thing. We have to make a decision which two, and that'll come soon probably with some of those guys. But we'll see how we come out of this Giant game before we do anything.
What about McGee?
McGee's been practicing. He's doing a lot better. Yeah, he's getting his feet under him, and he's got a chance to be active either this week or next week, possibly.
Jay, you rank near the top of the time of possession rankings. Is there how much do you notice that affecting the defense in kind of the opposite of that?
I think it's big. I notice it, and I also notice the field position. I think Tress Wade did an amazing job yesterday pinning Dallas, or on Sunday, pinning them and making them go 85, 80 yards, 80, 90 yards a couple times. So, the third quarter we're obviously struggling when it comes to scoring touchdowns, but we held the ball for, I think, 12 minutes in that quarter, which is pretty good. Got some points, and we also kept the field position in our favor. As long as your defense is playing good, that's not a bad recipe right there. But we do have to get better on offense, punching the ball in. But time of possession has been good for us and our defense.
I was actually going to bring up the field position. So how important is that when you're looking at stats at the end of the year and all that, how important is that opposing field position, and especially when they start inside your own 50, because that's been a lot better this year too?
Yeah, it's big. It's big. It's hard unless you get some chunk plays to go 85 yards consistently on 12, 15-play drives. I think with our run defense the way it's starting to pan out to be, I think it's hard to pop runs, and then our pass rush is getting better and better, and our coverage is getting better. So we know how difficult it is when we're backed up at our own 15 to go 85 yards consistently on 10, 12, 13-play drives without the luxury of a 45-yard gain or something like that. So field position is a major stat, I believe, in the NFL.
Jay, we've been talking a lot about how Alex's eyes and his feet need to speed up a little bit. How do you think that progression is going, and do you think some of the problems you had on Sunday were more of protection and other things instead of him not seeing the field?
Yeah, when you have, we did some good things. I think every week he's getting more comfortable, not just with the way we're calling plays, the way we're doing things, but with the people around him and the protections and all that stuff. So there's a lot for a quarterback to do in pro football. And then when terminology's new for you and your players around you are kind of new and the clock's going and the fronts are moving and all that stuff, sometimes you're going to have a missed opportunity from time to time. But he's getting more and more comfortable, and he's going to get better and better. But I like where he's at, and I know that he knows that we can do a lot better on offense.
And he's talked about how sometimes a call will come in and then maybe he realizes later that you had that call for one reason and maybe he was thinking another. Can you kind of maybe shed a little bit more light on that, of some of those miscommunications and how maybe you've had to change how you talk to him throughout the week versus a guy, say, like Kirk, who you worked with for 3 years and maybe it was like it was at the beginning for him?
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of similar carryover concepts from Kansas City and from where he's been with San Francisco, and he's been taught different things. And sometimes I take that for granted. He's a 15-year vet, and he probably doesn't need to know how to read this certain concept because he's done it so many times. But, we might have a little tweak on it, So might be Jordan Reed might be number one in this progression, or might be the back or what have you. So we're all getting that communication on a daily basis. And then each week there's a new set of concepts that we might have to add for the defenses that we're playing. They might play a totally different coverage. So we got to be able to adjust and coach them up properly so we're thinking on the same page.
With the trade deadline coming up, when you're at 4-2, when you're in first place, is it a little bit easier maybe to say, let's see what's out there, maybe let's see what kind of talent we can bring in?
Yeah, I mean, you never know what can be out there, but, I feel good about the players that we have. I think the depth that we have is solid, and, and I like where we're at. But if a great opportunity comes about to get a player, that's fine. But if we don't get anybody, then I'm great with the guys that we have. I think defensively, we got good depth on the defensive line, and linebackers, outside backers are doing extremely well. Safeties playing well together. Corners, we've got a little bit of issue there with the injuries with Dunbar, and obviously Danny's broken arm, but he played fine with it. Fabian's ankle, but I think he'll be okay. But overall, defensively, we're in good shape, and offensively, we've stayed away from the injuries except for receiver, but I think guys have stepped in, Floyd and Quick, and those guys have done a good job. So we don't really have issue where we say, oh my gosh, we have to get somebody. So I feel good about the guys we have.
Jay, the last couple of weeks there's been a big focus on stopping the run first with some pretty good running backs, and Saquon brings that also. What's the balance now, though, considering they got a couple really good receivers that you also have to – you can't just kind of – you've got to find that strike, that balance.
Yeah,
What
no
is
doubt.
that balance?
That's defensive coordinator's problem, nightmare. It's good that our front is doing a very good job against the run without having to bring a lot of safeties in a lot of times. But Saquon's a different guy now. He's a combination of Kamara, who can catch out of the backfield, and the quickness, and Zeke Elliott, who's got the power and the speed. He's got both. So definitely a guy you have to figure out how to stop, because their offense runs through him. I think he's like 39% of the touches or percent of the yards or what have you. And then obviously Odell and Shepard, they're great receivers, and Ingram's a good tight end. So a lot of weapons to choose from over there. We just got to be sound in what we do, disciplined with our eyes, and pursuit to the football like always.
Jay, with the trade deadline going on, the Giants are kind of turning into sellers. It almost seems like a baseball sell-off. They traded 2 defensive starters in the last 24 hours. How do you convey to your team to ignore that, or do you have to pay attention just because the film's going to look a lot different?
Well, I think the Giants have been playing a lot of guys, so I don't know. I'm not in their building. I don't know why they did what they did, but I know that they played a lot of guys in their rotation, and obviously they feel good about the things they got in that deal. But we're going to prepare for the system that they're in, and obviously try to attack the people who we think we're going to play against. That's all we can do. They still have very good defensive personnel over there. Guys that can rush a passer with Vernon, and guys that can cover. They still have Jenkins, and obviously Landon Collins. They have some pretty darn good players over there. Even without those 2 they lost. So we're just going to prepare for the Giants and expect a very hard-fought game like it always is with the Giants.
Going for it on 4th down is up league-wide again, and has been the last 3 or 4 years. It keeps going up. Why do you think coaches are more comfortable doing that now, if you think that's the particular reason that's happening?
I don't know. It depends on the circumstance and the situation, really. Like we had a 4th down 4 seconds ago and a half. It counted for a 4th down. We just threw a Hail Mary. But, sometimes the rewards outweighs the risk, really. If you don't get it, you expect your defense to get the stop. If you do get it, it's a chance to really change the momentum and field position and get points on the board. So depends on the defense you're going against and the backs that you have or the plays that you might have dialed up for that defense. So a lot goes into the thought process there, but sometimes, like I said, it's worth the risk.
Jay, your first down offense is shaded 60-40 run pass. What do you like about running the ball on the first down, or what do you kind of want to stay away from passing the ball first down wise?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Adrian's been doing a pretty good job of getting some yards on first down and our backs. And, we've had, some opportunities to throw the ball. We just, when we're in a lead like we have been, we've had success running the ball. It's nice to stick to it sometimes. But we'll probably get that number skewed back to 50-50 here pretty soon. I think the intent here is to be a physical football team. We have a big offensive line. Our tight ends are blocking a lot better now. Our receivers, with the absence of Chris and Paul and Jamison, we have a pretty big set of receivers that are good blocking safeties and corners and all that, so it's really provided us our running game a spark. So sometimes the running game is a little bit better option.
With Josh Holsey coming back today, how do you envision his progression, and is he potential to play Sunday?
Who?
Josh Holsey.
Holsey. Oh, okay. We just started him off pup. This is his first practice. He's got a 21-day clock going. We're just going to get him acclimated back in the system and see how he moves around and all that. It's the beginning stages of his rehab and progress, but he looked good today.
With Peterson, is this just a rest today, or is this a little more? Is this?
No, it's rest. Yes, I don't envision him practicing Wednesday the entire year. Really, this is a good chance for him to get in the hot tub and cold tub and all the cool things that we bought for our recovery center. He can get in a sleep tank for all I care. This guy, he got the walkthrough reps this morning. He worked on the new, the run footwork and all that stuff this morning. Got some work in the rehab room. He'll get to the meetings this afternoon and tomorrow morning, and he'll get some work tomorrow and Friday. But this is good for him. He's put enough Wednesdays in his career. He can miss one or two, or 16. All right.